Well, anyway, I'm probably gonna hard pull this guy. Ha! Well then. Okay, I hard pulled. I'm done. Oh, I got both. Okay, I'm done. Okay, we're good. Okay. Thank you, P-Moon.
네가 이렇게 친절을 베푸는 척해도 난 모든 기술이 해방되는 그 순간까지 널 경계하고 의심할 거야.
Hello. So the new IDs are out. I've cleared all of Chapter 4. I've given them a few tests and witnessed their numbers myself, and I think that these IDs are pretty okay. It's just that currently there's not enough support for them. So let's start with Gregor. Chainsaw Man Gregor. 3 plus 4 plus 4. 3 to 10, not bad. Oh, sorry, 3 to 11. Yeah, 3 to 11, not bad. 4 plus 12, decent, 16. And then 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, so that is about 4 to 13. So, what disappoints me about his kit is that he's not the tremor count or rupture count applier that I'm really looking for. He gains charge count, and then he inflicts 2 tremor count and 1 rupture count, but his skill tree will consume all of that tremor by reducing your tremor count by 2. So unfortunately, he also doesn't really help to apply tremor count that much, unless you purposely avoid using skill tree. The thing is that Gregor is supposed to be the tremor to rupture link. He's supposed to convert your tremor into rupture, something along those lines. But the thing is, right, that it's very slow if you do not use Teleport Dawn to charge him up right now. So what happens is that, right, he needs to spend up to 4 charge to inflict rupture count. And if you look at skill 2 and skill 1, assuming that this is not a wave battle where you get multiple actions, what happens is that if you spend 1 turn gaining 3 charge count, then on the end of your turn you lose 1, so you have 2 charge count. If you use skill 1, you only get a net positive of 1 charge count for that turn, which means that you must use Grease Chains twice in order to use your skill tree once to activate this charge ability to inflict rupture count equal to charge count spent. So it's really slow for rupture count application. It also uses up 2 of that rupture count that you just applied to inflict 1 rupture, and if target is staggered, deal 10% damage. So overall, this skill tree is honestly quite off. I feel like it could have been more synergistic, but honestly this feels anti-synergistic if anything. You don't really want to be taking away your tremor counts for your Rodion, and you also need to take too long to get up your charge counts so that you can inflict more rupture count. It just takes too long as a setup. Teleport Dawn as a corroded ego maybe could get you the charge count you need to use skill tree twice or something like that, but honestly probably not worth the setup, probably not worth the energy. Defense wise he has nothing going for him, and passive wise he inflicts +1 rupture to targets with tremor. This one is fine, I guess. Inflict 1 rupture to targets with tremor is okay. Yeah, it just makes this into 2, makes this into 3, so just a little bit okay. It's rough for Gregor. His support passive is quite interesting though, because one ally of the lowest speed inflicts +1 rupture, and in terms of low speed, right, actually Sunshower Heath is only 3 to 5, making him pretty slow compared to most other IDs. So I could see him being supported with this because he does apply rupture. And if you do have someone like Rodion, Roseheimer Rodion to apply tremor, then you will be able to, you know, get some use out of this. Yeah, not too bad of a passive. But skills wise, I don't see myself using him. I wish he applied more rupture count. Okay, so the way I see it, right, is that to make this guy actually usable is we need ego that applies a shit ton of rupture, which currently is only our Yisang, I believe. Yisang's ego. Mine's not uptight, so it probably won't do enough rupture count. How much of the rupture thing does it apply? Let me just chat spin it. Okay, inflict 3. You inflict 3 and then you apply 3 at the end of turn. Is that enough startup energy, startup rupture count to make it worth it? It could be, actually, it could be. I feel like the missing pieces are Yisang and Honglu right now. Yeah, I feel like those two egos or IDs are just waiting to make this all work out. Because right now, this Gregor is probably not worth it to run. I see synergy potentially. It's just, it might be way too far off for it to be actually like good. I don't know. Gregor really, if you just bring him for damage, he's not really worth it. And if you bring him for rupture count, it takes so much setup. So that is why I don't like him right now. I know that there is a Gregor AEDD ego that's going to come out soon. And I hope that will fix this part so that we will actually see some synergy. But before that, I still don't see a reason to be running Gregor. Anyway, let's move on to Sunshower Heath. He is not the rabbit replacement that I wanted, but he is still pretty solid. Umbrella Thwack is a 6, 12, 18 damage at max. Puddle Stomp is 40 damage at max, 10 times 4. Skill 3 is 18 times 3, which is 54 damage at max. So overall, this guy's coins is good, just not as good as Quick Suppression. Yeah. Anyway, besides these few skills, right, his defense skill is the only one that actually looks very important to the kit. It's not like She Ishmael's where you want to get hit to lower your HP. For him, it is actually a core synergy part of his kit. So how this works, right, is that this can potentially roll 20 damage and you get hit. But before you get hit, on use, you gain 3 sinking. Okay, so before you get hit, you have already used this skill, you gain 3 sinking. His passive, if you have farmed up your NV beforehand, it will trigger. Before you get hit by an attack, you gain protection equal to this unit sinking. I gain 3 protection off of this. And if I were to have used my skill 3 at any point in time, I would gain 6 sinking and 3 sinking count. So with that in mind, I can protect myself really well because of this protection scaling off my sinking. If I use my defense, I can get 3 right off the bat. And if I use my skill 3, I will get 3 counts, so 3 hit protection, and I'll get 5 protection for each of the sinking. I'm pretty sure it says before being hit by an attack, you gain it. So you don't actually lose it while you're getting hit. Which means that if the enemy has 4 coins, and you use this defense skill, you gain 3 protection off the bat, and you will apply the 3 protection for the entire attack. So it's a very solid defense skill. When you get hit, you gain 1 blunt damage up. And this is the one that has a huge amount of potential, because this skill 2 here would benefit greatly. Body Sack would benefit greatly. And this skill 1 also benefits from, not so greatly. It's up to 18, but this one is 40. It's a big difference in damage. Yeah, so this character is built like a destruction character from Honkai Star Rail, like a berserker, someone that wants to get hit, wants to stay low, and does a lot of damage in return. And I think that's a very cool design. So I want to explain his flow. So his flow is such that you want to prioritize getting spread out as fast as possible, because you want to get the sinking and the +3 sinking count. This will help you to maintain a low SP count and will help you to get your maximum protection, help you to get to this -15 SP faster, because sinking reduces your sanity quite fast if you keep stacking it. And in addition to that, his passive also naturally consumes the sinking counts to reduce your SP by the current amount of sinking, so you don't always have to be getting hit in order to reduce your sinking. You can actually just take your turn, and if you have enough sinking count, you will just consume 1 and you will lower your SP by the current amount. So this character is a lone wolf. Very cool design, honestly. The fact that he's a wolf, fox. He's a fox and he's alone, and his story is like all his friends got killed, so he's the lone wolf. He's a lone guy. Very, very cool. And just like how his design is, he's meant to be used alone. And I think some of you might be thinking to yourself, like, how is he going to live if he has a counter as a defense skill? And he wants to, he wants to keep getting hit in order to get more damage. And I'll explain later, because there is an ego that was released that that is meant to be with him. So, okay, so now that the flow that you know is spread out into skill 2, right? You see that Paralyze next turn, Inflict Fragile next turn, all of these just benefit this skill 2, because skill 2 will be used next turn. Yeah, so skill 3 into skill 2 is the main combo. Skill 1 and your defense is... Skill 1 is kind of like a move that you just kind of use. I don't find it particularly good to be used, but I do find that if I don't want to use skill 1, I use my defense skill instead, which will help me give protection, help me to get the blunt damage up, help me to do blah blah blah, like skill 1s are actually something that can be just replaced with your defense skill, and I think that's really good because I don't feel bad about replacing this, and I have a reason to replace my skill 1s with this defense. Yeah, so overall this design is impeccable. I love it. Unfortunately, this fragile, I believe I said in the initial review that I hope this fragile was huge. Unfortunately, it's 1. So it's whatever. It's not the next quick suppression. It's unfortunately just a setup for your Puddle Stomp. The good news is that if you're solo, you can get quite a bit of this. If you're solo, you can maybe get up to 5 actions, and because Chapter 4 introduced the possibility of getting 7 IDs into one fight, we could get 7 actions of this, and that could be quite interesting. Alright, so anyway, I've talked about his kit. It flows well, it feels so nice. I love the design of this character. Oh, actually, I forgot to talk about one more part, the support. The support is incredible for Ninclair. One ally with the least SP lose 10 SP when you get hit, and you gain 1 blunt damage up next turn. If you use Ninclair in a low team comp, or maybe even solo Ninclair, I don't know if that's possible yet, one ally with the least SP loses 10 SP, helps him to corrode faster, and helps him to get blunt damage up. So, whew, there's potential there, honestly. I'm thinking for Ninclair, right, maybe you're supposed to use Impending Day to just get kills so you can heal yourself and keep yourself in the fight while you are slowly scaling up. So maybe that is why they decided to add this thing, losing SP. I don't know. It's quite interesting. I see some potential here. I don't know if it will be as good as Rabbit Heath. That is the thing. It just looks fun. Okay, anyway, I've talked about the ID. Now I want to talk about the ego that is supposed to go with the ID and how it all fits together. So we go to number 30 here, number 30, and look at AEDD. So AEDD, you gain 1 charge count for every 10% of missing HP, okay? And you're wondering to yourself, hey, why is it charge count? Well, if you look at the passive, when you get hit, you spend 1 charge count to heal 2.5% of max HP. There it is. How you're going to live is by stacking up charge count on yourself. You get charge count for every 10% of your missing HP, and you'll be quite low. Heathcliff has 190% HP, so 10% of that is what, every 19 HP lost, if my math is correct. Yeah, so that is not too hard to get in order to get a significant amount of charge. And the passive, at less than 40% HP, you gain 1 charge count before activating the healing effect, and you can gain up to 10 charge count per turn with this effect. So you can really live very long with this. It extends your life by quite a while. And if you were to combine this with a bench character, very specifically Gregor, Gregor's passive here, his support passive, the ally with the least HP heals 5 HP after winning a clash. Boom! You have a source of consistent HP regen. You have an ego that makes it so that you don't absolutely get destroyed when you are about to die. Or when you get to like 40%, it will keep you alive. AEDD. It's an AED, right? It's keeping you from the brink of death. That's the point. And you live long enough that you can use Gregor's passive to heal yourself back up. So overall, I see that this AEDD combo is going to work well with Gregor and Sunshower. Furthermore, if you're doing a solo run with Sunshower, you will get a shit ton of sinking count. And what will happen is that you will have no choice but to corrode at some point. Because you will have a crap ton of sinking count, enemy will keep hitting you, and you will just keep blocking and getting a lot of sinking for protection, and eventually you're just going to corrode. The corrosion of this is also good, because before you attack, you gain +1 charge count for every 10% of missing HP again, and you spend all of it to nuke. Whoo! It's all coming together, dude. it's such a nice flow. They did a really good job of the design, I feel. They intentionally want you to work with this, work with Sunshower, and try to get some healing passives maybe to make the solo Sunshower work. And then lastly, tail hit. After the attack, you lose 10% of your max HP to gain plus 10 charge count. I'm not sure if you can kill yourself with this. It doesn't specifically say you cannot kill yourself, so if you're a bit too low, right, this might still kill you. The good news is that... actually, no, sorry, I was thinking of another thing. But no, so if you're super low, right, this thing is not going to keep you alive. Yeah, it just gives you the charge count, meaning that you can activate this temperamental discharge. You will still need a separate source of healing to keep yourself alive. Yeah, but this Ego and Sunshower are very, very synergistic with each other. You want to get hit? Well, get hit, we'll heal you up. And we'll keep you alive long enough that a passive can trigger. Gregor's passive specifically, yeah. So overall, I love this design. I love this design. I can't wait to actually level all of... I can't wait to get AEDD and then try to solo all of the Chapter 4, because I feel like it's definitely possible with his moves. Really, really strong, honestly. Okay, so besides AEDD, there is one more Ego I wanted to talk about before I end this video, and that is Sunshower Outis here. What is this? Huh. Oh, it's a color. Okay, Sunshower Outis. Sunshower Outis is not a free battle pass Ego, meaning that it is not super strong. It is, however, solid. And the reason why it's solid is because of the fact that it does quite a bit of damage for the cost. Theft Ego, 5 cost. 7 Outis can give you Sloth and Glut. You just need one source of Gloom somewhere. And it is pretty easy to charge. What happens is that Sunshower gives you Poise count, which is very, very weird. I tried to look at Blade Lineage Outis, whether this would work. Blade Lineage Outis only... actually, I don't think she actually even feeds any of this. It's Pride, Wrath, and something. I can't remember. I think it maybe feeds one of the elements, but it won't generate enough to make this consistent enough. But this Ego converts any Outis into a Poise Outis. That is its design. The passive is when you clash, you gain 2 Poise. When you're staggered, you gain 2 protection. And when you recover from the stagger, you gain 5 Poise. And when you use this Ego, you get plus 6 Poise count. The Crowder version gives you 7 Poise count. And then it also inflicts Sinking, Bind, and Burst Tremor and 2 Sinking count. So it supports Sinking because it's Sunshower, but it also for some reason gives you Poise. And it converts your Outis into a Poise character, which is very interesting, but I don't know. I actually think you might use this just because it's actually good damage for the cost. And the enemies in this dungeon, the fairy enemies, the fairy armor guys, those guys are actually weak to pierce. So you can actually do quite a bit of damage with this, especially since your 7th section Outis does blunt and they're resistant to blunt. So quite interesting that you can convert any Outis into a Poise character just by using one Ego. Quite interesting, because like I said, if your coins are good and you get Poise on you, you're probably very good. But if you are a character that's only around Poise, you're probably not very good. So making 7th section Outis into a Poise character actually does increase the damage quite a bit. It's quite interesting. So this Ego is actually not bad in my eyes. I think the real winner though is the fact AEDD is a level 30 free battle pass, and we all know what the free battle pass Egos are. Legend Domain, Ebony Stem. This guy over here is just solid. I love it. I love the design. Pimon really hit another home run, honestly, for me. Yeah, this like the synergy here for this Heathcliff with that Ego, and I can potentially solo the whole game with this combo. Like, that sounds so fun, so good. And this character does take quite a bit of skill to use as well. You need to manage your defense skill, when to use your skill 1, try to reroll for skill 3s as much as possible, and then skill 2 should be used only after you use skill 3 or when you get negative 15 sanity, and you try to get as much sinking on your character so you can get bonus damage from your skill 2 by spending 5 sinking here. So yeah, lots of things to consider. Very fun design. As for the min-max part, I don't know yet. I just think this character is very cool. I pulled him already. I don't know if I can recommend pulling him. I just think he's very cool. I don't know if there will be more synergy, because if there was another way to run him with a team that would all lower their SP. For example, if maybe Sunshower Yisang, if you rain on everyone and everyone gets 10 sinking on them, or everyone loses 25 sanity or something like that, then maybe we could see him run in a team. Otherwise, he's really just a lone wolf design right now. But his lone wolf design is very cool to me. Might not be better than a lot of other strats, but I think it's a very budget combo because you get one ego for free and you just need to pull this guy. So overall, yeah, I like this guy a lot. Yeah, I like this guy a lot. And it's up to you guys whether you want to pull him. I already pulled. I'm quite happy with him. And yeah, I will leave it to you guys about what to pull next. So summary time. Gregor, sorry, not Gregor. Rose Banner Gregor is okay, potential in the future, but probably not worth it to run at all. Sunshower Heathcliff has such cool synergy, such a cool design, and a bit of a learning curve when it comes to using him. You have to combo him with this AED here, so that you can run him solo, so that he can get hit a lot, and this passive here will keep you alive. When you get hit, you spend 1 charge count to heal 2.5% of your max HP, and at less than 40%, you gain 1 charge count before you activate the healing, keeping you alive at a low HP. Then you must combo that with like Gregor or some other sources of healing like Chef Ryoshu in order to heal up back to maybe a sustainable level of like 50%, 60% around there. And then Sunshower Outis is pretty damn good actually. Good damage, converts any Outis into a Poise character, and it's pretty free because the passive is the part that gives you the Poise, and costs only 5. Which 7 section Outis easily provides because she gives you the sloth and she gives you the green. The gloom will have to come from somewhere else. But yeah, that is it for this video. Overall, I think that this banner is actually really fun. I think Rodion from the previous banner is going to work out pretty well in the future Tremor team. I think Rodion is just rising in value the more the chapters are released. And I think that everyone should be trying to get Rodion because she is really very helpful in fighting these robot bastards who have such a huge amount of tremor, and against those fairy bastards who also take quite a bit of time to get staggered. They have a stagger bar around I think 50% HP, so tremoring them really will help you a lot in getting to the stagger portion so you can actually do damage to them. But okay, yeah, the current IDs, I think only Sunshower will be worth it for now, and I'm hoping for some good synergy for the Tremor and the Rupture count guys. But that is it for this video. I am out of things to say. Leave a comment on what you think about these egos and IDs. I love to hear and read your comments, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching.